It's another episode of the Brett Allen Show. Today we have the amazingly talented Logan Macrae. We're talking about Where the Crawdads Sing, which is available to watch and stream now. If you have not had the opportunity to see this yet, it is just absolutely spectacular. And I was talking off tape a little bit about the fact that I remember when this movie was being discussed about a year or so ago, maybe even longer, there was quite a buzz about it because of the nature of the content. But first, Logan, thanks for hanging out today. It's a pleasure to meet you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So let's get down to this here, because this was being, did you film this before the pandemic? Was it during? Like, because I've heard a lot about this movie for a long time and sort of the buzz is about it.
Yeah, so it was filmed early last summer. So
Okay.
I don't know. When did we officially end the pandemic?
I don't know.
And everything was very much treated as though everything was still going on. So all the fun testing and masks and everything else. But yeah, so it was last summer is when we shot the film down in New Orleans.
In the heat, for sure. Because I've seen pictures on social media of various cast members just talking about how hot it is. But this is a beautiful film. Your character, this story is just spectacular. Can you let our listeners and viewers in on a little bit about what it is and what they can expect if they have not had the opportunity to watch it as of yet, which they should, by the way, because it's available to watch now.
Yeah, absolutely. For starters, I would say, I think a lot of people are worried that, oh, it was this really popular book, but I didn't read the book. But I would sit there and say, A, you don't need to watch or read the book to watch this movie.
No.
And the thing that made the book so popular is what also makes the movie so good. First of all, it was adapted extremely well by Lucy Alivar, who is the writer that actually wrote the script. And from there, I think the things that make this story special are that there's so many different pieces to what happens in this story. For starters, you obviously have Kaya, and Kaya, who's played by Daisy Edgar Jones, is such a very, very special character. And she is this woman that goes through adversity after adversity in her life, and the way that she's able to overcome that adversity. And then to wrap it all into the fact that she has some love interests throughout the story. And on top of all, there's this crime aspect to it too. So I think that there's just so many different genres that this story covers. And that's why it is such a special story.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I find probably like the most fascinating about this is there's just a lot of different things happening, and it's beautifully filmed. The story, the music is all emoting, and it's just really good. And again, I always say, I used to feel that way too. Like, well, if I didn't read the books, then I can't watch the story. But that's just far from the truth, because you don't need to have done that, right? Even like the Lord of the Rings movies or the Harry Potter movies, it's like, I never saw the movie. I didn't read the book. Well, who cares? They're good stories. So I think my question would be is when people do watch it, Logan, like, what is it your hope, or what do you want people to take away from it or to be able to get from it when they have the chance to watch it? Like, is there an overarching theme that you hope people take away with?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I love about it, because I think that it's kind of something that I try to implement in my life, is just how to handle adversity. I mean, you see somebody going through, you see somebody going through such extreme adversity, and I think it makes you really, really care for Kaya. And I remember even the first time I saw the film, and even when I read the book, it was just one of those things that A, you want to reach out and give this girl a hug, and B, you're just sitting there on the edge of your seat waiting for something great to happen to this person, because you see this character and you just feel for her, and she's an amazing person, just like Daisy is in person, that you want Kaya to win at the end of this.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And having watched it just a couple times, I kind of find myself in that position where I'm like, you're really rooting for everybody in this story, whether it's good or evil, whatever the case might be. You just want a good story, and you want resolution, right? I think that's really what it comes down to. Well, talking about telling stories and being a storyteller, Logan, when did you know that this was something that you wanted to do? Because you've been a part of a lot of great things, but what was the moment for you where this became interesting and you sort of knew, hey, I want to do this for a job?
Yeah, so part of it was luck. I was pointed in the direction of a really, really great teacher in New York City. Her name is Sheila Gray, and I took a sensory class with her. And this was something that was very, very much on a whim. And on the level of acting, I really hadn't done anything. I've done some commercial work and whatnot. So obviously movement on film existed, but acting is a whole different level when you have to talk and feel and do all these other things with it.
Yeah.
So I took this sensory class with her, and she worked me through these exercises, and I kid you not, she had me in full-blown tears within 15 minutes of the start of this class that I'd never been in before. But in a way that you felt safe and you felt protected, and it just conjured something up in me where, it was very, very therapeutic, obviously, because you were working through things. And it was just something where I looked at it as like, this is amazing, because this is truly a craft and something that you can build and work through. And you can do it in a way of using real emotions that you have going on. And I think when you do use those real emotions, it only makes your job easier, because you're experiencing faking your way through.
Yeah. Now I've heard that before, where actors take those classes and they become, this completely different person than maybe they were when they started. Very fascinating. This is exciting. I'm excited just overall, and I cannot wait for people to watch this. Logan, where the Crawdads sings, where can people watch it when they get the chance or when they have the opportunity to? What platforms is it on, and where can they check it out?
So Where the Crawdads Sing right now is in theaters. So definitely go see this movie in theaters. I think visually you will be very happy. I think it's an opportunity, and has all the feels of what you're looking for when you go for a movie experience. And I think it's the way that you want to see this film, because it is a special film, and there's so many parts to it that you will appreciate seeing this movie in theaters. And I would say that, movies in theaters are back. So go have a good night.
100%. I mean, there's something about that communal and collective experience that are important. I'm excited for people to check it out. It's a lot of fun, and go to a theater, buy a ticket, and support it. Logan Macrae, thank you so much for hanging out today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.